Wizard, what do you see as the twisted tiles beneath our feet? What do you see? Or was it what have you done to me? As the dark energy flows from inside of me, inside of me.
Mati, ci pensi? In Italia una donna su 3 è vittima di violenza.
Un dato assurdo. Se ne sentono troppe di storie.
Eh sì, all'inizio magari sembrano cose piccole.
Controllare il telefono, come ti vesti.
Con chi esci.
Questo non è amore. Sono segnali preoccupanti, di cui parlare sempre.
Forte e chiaro.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Buffers. Here we are for our round, the first endurance round of the season. Here we are for 90 minutes around the mountain, a very dangerous mountain which always takes its place in the calendar. Currently tonight there are 29 drivers, as we are with both the silver drivers and the pro drivers in the same lobby. Cloudy weather, although in 30 minutes it will rain. I'm not sure if it is 30 effective minutes or rather 12, since from 10 to 30 minutes I don't really have any forecast, but it's going to be interesting if it rains during the pro qualifying laps, mostly because, well, obviously they will then be obliged to start behind the silver drivers. For now the track is fast, as we are also going for a bit of an aerial shot of the very long racetrack, which always delivers some interesting racing, since this is practically the Monaco of GT racing, since the points of overtaking are literally 2. But this is way better than Monaco, in my opinion. This is the highest point of the whole track, and then it's all downhill into the S's, which always oh, this is interesting. In 10 minutes it will rain, so it's practically obvious that the pro drivers will be obliged to start behind the Silver Cup drivers, which will definitely put some tension in these driver setups, since they will have to make overtakes. Very interesting situation here. Just want to see if everything is working, so let me just put it real quick. I had a little peek at what's happening in the other lobby, and it's already raining there. Because here it's slightly different, with the first laps that are coming right now. I suppose it's going to be either a 0-1 or a 0-2 with a fast track, maybe even 0-3. Round sets as 0.3.5 and 0.2 for Curtin, 0.2.1. Casita actually putting down a 0.1.9, so the first one to get into the ones. And a few laps remain, because then the rain comes and qualifying will be pretty much over for this class. Scanner is the only one of the drivers on track in this lap to be bound to set a lap time. The 107 Porsche. Scanner sets a 0.2.4, so 4 times away from pole at the moment, but there is still another lap, maybe 2 at best. Maybe even 3. It's 2 minutes of lap time in 90 minutes race 2, and a mandatory pit stop which will happen. Well, it's not mandatory, but it's quite obvious that it will happen. But we don't have any real rules, so I also forecast a no tire change strategy if you really want to risk something. Ascana goes back into the pits, and Cassidrash is about to end his lap. Same goes for Conway and Curtin. Curtin is going to be the first one, and oh! Did he make contact with the other car? Or was he some impeding? Ooh, some clear impeding in my mind between Besselink and Curtin, which now exit the pit, whilst Cassidrash also improved his own lap time with a 0.1.6. Yeah, that was clearly some impeding from the 460 without a lap yet, as Lazova is now in 6th place in number 20 for Walkenos Motorsport. With Davison still bound to end his own lap. Do I think this is an invalid lap time? It is indeed. Really, number 20 is still improving a lot on Elena Vlasova on her lap time. Now 1.2 seconds away from Paul, but she is the only one with an important improvement. Although Gerais just gained a second all of a sudden, so clearly there was a mistake in the uphill section. As you can see, the number 97 is just now going downhill, so I suspect a second has been lost in that section, but Gerais is now at the very beginning of the straight, whilst Vlasova is just at the very tail end of it. Ooh, with a little tire speed on the exit. But it's going to be an improvement for the number 20, but it won't be an improvement in terms of position for the Beamer, whilst Aston Martin here in 7th place is going to improve quite a lot thanks to said improvement in the very upper part of the circuit with 0.2.1. That's the 3rd quickest time, and quite surely for now it's going to be 3rd overall too. Because as you can see from the upper part of the screen, there is rain coming. There is some rain coming, and it will be on the racetrack at approximately 12 minutes to go, so it's certain that the pro drivers want to make a lap time on dry surface. Smenk also, the 707 Ferrari, bound to make an improvement. Without a lap time, still one single car, the 460 Ferrari in 15th place, which if a lap won't come, it's going to become P29, apologies. As Dyer is slightly... oh no, okay, still on the line. But you can see already people people clearly hungry for position, as Besselink sets the 12th fastest time, and the Kuzmenkos set the 3rd fastest lap with the 2:02.0. Ascanner also put together a 2nd place in the qualifying lap. 1 tenth away from Cassitrash. Also Brown in 738 is going to end this lap in short time. Ooh, there was a car off there. Yes, clearly I heard the car going off. Not really sure what happened there. Now Kuzmenko is improving quite a bit, but it's not going to be enough for a position in any case. Although now it's 5 tenths below, so now he just needs a single tenth to get into pole. So another driver which improved massively in a single point. 4 tenths being gained in the uphill section. Ooh, tremendous loss of pace in the last hairpin. I think an improvement to make on, but certainly not a position. Whilst the Pro class is literally racing to get a lap time. This is going to be quite nervous situation. Look at this, they are literally racing. And it's already raining, it's way too late. It's way too late. Kuzmenko will barely end his lap, but no improvement will come. Unfortunately for Bogamas, he was 6 tenths below himself. It would have been quite some positions for the McLaren driver, but I don't think anything will be achieved. And now the number 14 leads the pack, having come out of the pits as early as physically possible. But again, it's already raining, and they have to be quick on it. You can see the Mustang already cutting the chicane, and nearly putting the car on the wall. As expected, Bogomas didn't improve, so it's quite certain that nobody will get in pole position. So this makes Cassitrash the pole-sitting driver for this evening. As everyone, I think nobody cares about their own position on track. In this very moment, the important bit is to get first on the line. As Dyer is getting followed by the number 29 Audi, and I think behind it's another Mustang. It is indeed X Mustang, whilst the number 89 is bound to be probably last of this pack, since it's just now going out of the pits. Nobody taking distances, obviously, at this point. It's completely useless. Dyer cleverly took the first place for this train. As you can see from the wheel, the grip is not really there. I won't say obviously that it's rain tires yet, it's still greasy, it's just started raining, but it's certain that you can't really do it flat out. Everybody is obviously pushing as much as possible. The issue is that in this very scenario, oh, there is a contact with the wall. It is the first one. It is a Hill who went on the wall. Oh, big shunt into the wall. Which put the car last on the grid, quite likely. Zaire is still here. with Audi behind, which is actually gaining on the Mustang. Thanks to some slipstream, and I think also some braveness too. Ironically, the Mustang is actually impeding the Audi's lap time. So this is effectively the lap which counts. I don't think they will have another lap to make their way, and in fact Dyer is not first. The first car is actually Nopek on the Bentley. Oh, little contact there. Every single time came through, and it's Nopek on pole in class with Senatore behind in the 112. The 909 Ferrari, and then Benjamin Eck in 17th place, then Garbi, and then Aleman with Alfano, Vellman 21st, Murasaki, then Dyer only 23rd, disaster qualifying for the Mustang driver with Cotrignelli, with Vella behind, Santa Maria also on Hill, and then Relano Mesa, both of which still have to complete at least a valid lap time, which I think puts an effective end to the qualifying session. Nobody is going to improve, and I'm quite certain that Hill and Relano Mesa won't score anything better than a 211. Their only hope is to get on the white tires at this point. Relano Mesa actually makes it out of last place, the very least in 26th, which also puts into question how good the number 89 could have been without the first lap being effectively botched. So yeah, this puts Nopek as the first car not behind the entirety of the Silver Cup. Only Davidson is between Nopek and the entirety of the profiles of the Profield in the 1-2-3, the 206. Obviously everyone is now with wet tires testing for some rain practice, as he'll quite likely it's also on wet. Because now the best pro 4.5 seconds away from pole and in 13th place, so 12 cars will now be between overall first and first in class. I think the most impacted car at this moment is number 14, only 23rd, with Hill, which actually put the car in 26th place using rain tires. In Triple 5, which relegates Olson to the last place in the field. The Dyer made a, considering his pace, a bit of a disaster of a qualifying behind many of his opponents. Even more so considering that he is in the battle for the championship. But this is definitely going to be an interesting race. mostly because it's the most difficult track on which you want to make an overtake. And because very likely if you don't attack you will be attacked. So they kinda have to move forward. You can't really be stationary here. Obviously I'm hoping for some wet racing tonight. Last minute and a half for these drivers to get acquainted to the wet surface. Although I really think that they already have been going through some practice in the rain. Oh, there's a wall tap. Oh, that's more than a wall tap. Oh, that's more than a few wall taps. Yeah, that's a thing that can happen. As the last cars are now crossing the line, though I think realistically only one car remains, which is number 29. Or maybe it's number 966, to be fair. Although I think that actually Veldman and Vella are both... no, wait, it was Santa Maria who took the flag, so number 29 is effectively the last one which will have to cross the finish line. So now we have to wait for... not sure what, since nobody's on a valid lap time. So I think actually it's the number 19, or probably the game is just glitched, because nobody's on a valid lap time, and Vella remains the only car on track at the moment. And now it's not even a racetrack, so I think it's just the game that wants to... Oh no, okay, it was well effectively the one stopping the progress of the session. As now all the 29 drivers are currently on the racetrack, and I have to do this, and then this, the usual things. Thanks a lot. Give me OBS. Thank you very much. So now we are here, and it's going to be a bit odd, starting from the silver class for once. And as you can see, in 30 minutes it's also going to rain. So yeah. Casita rushing pole with Karner alongside, then Kuzmenko in third, Curtin in fourth, with Rice number 97 in fifth, Besseling starting the 460 in sixth place, with Conway and Vlasova following behind. Then there is the Shong with Bogomas, with Brown, and Irei in 12th. Then, and I'm serious, the first of the pro drivers, with Nopek in 13th, Davidson is the last of the silver drivers, with the remaining of the pro class, with Senator in second place. I'm starting from 15th overall. Second in class with Mikos in third, Ek in fourth, Garbin fifth, with Aleman in sixth, Alfano in seventh, with Velman, Murzaki, and Dyer completing the top 10. Then we got Crutignelli in 24th, with Vel in 25th or 12th, Hill behind with Santa Maria, Relano Mesa, and then Olson completing the grid with a greasy track, because it's remaining from the qualifying session. But it's going to be quite interesting, as the fastest drivers are actually on the back end of the field. As we now start, we already have a bit of a surprise, because Brown will start from the pit lane, because he didn't put the car on the racetrack in time. But either way, we are going now for our usual drone overview of the racetrack, with a mountain straight between Hell Corner and Quarry, turn number 2. You reach speeds up to 230 kilometers per hour here, with a green track, which is getting drier and drier. There's another car in the pits now that I look around that place. It's actually the 966 of Olson, which I don't think it was a move made by mistake. He was already starting from the last place, so at this point playing it safely and out of danger actually makes sense. As I was saying, then it is turn number 3 and 4, the cutting, with then turn number 5. Section is honestly one of the most important one in my mind, because from here, if your setup is good enough, it starts a flat out section from 4 to, oh, that's a bit close to the hill, from 4 up to, I think, turn 9. We are now into Reed Park and the Frog Hollow. This one here, turn 8. And then Sulman Park at turn 9, which is the highest point. Apologies, it was Mika Filami Park, turn 10, this one here, which is the highest point of the circuit. And then we go downhill into the S's from 11 to 17. It's a right, and then it's a left, and then it's a right, it's a left again, and a right again, and look at that. You will never guess. It's a left and then right again. With then the hairpin being the dipper, turn 18. You can see the tire marks on the tarmac. That's because you usually end up locking up your tires there. In fact, you need a very low brake bias. Then into Conroe Straight, 1.8 kilometers long, 280 kilometers per hour is the max speed you can reach, more or less. The question obviously arises on who is going to put a higher wing setting and who is going to put a lower wing setting. Because considering the fact that it's going to rain, you really want a high downforce setup, but considering this is the only place where you can overtake, and considering that every single pro driver except one is behind the silver class, you really want to overtake as many cars and as quickly as possible. But for today only, I suspect, it's going to be quite different. As I said, we will start with the silver class in the front of the field, which shifts completely the usual balance of the field. As I suspect some yellow flags will happen very, very early. But anyway, we are now here into Murray's Corner, turn number 23. And so this means we get into the Halcam to see as many things as possible. With a car already going into the pits, it is a Porsche. There's a green light and away we go with a very good start by the Porsche alongside the Ferrari of Casitras, although the Casitras is in the Ferrari into the inside, but loses at the apex, and now Karner is in the lead of the race. The shock was the car which went into the pits, and Curtin follows, and everybody else behind doesn't seem to be involved in any kind of incident. While Nopek already jumps a few cars. He's already in 9th place and aiming for the top of the leaderboard with an overtake from the outside, which can't really happen there. As the 789 is actually off track, Casitras has crashed. Oh, it was a contact with Curtin. You can see there, putting the car on the wall. Well, Senatore here. Oh, there was a car nearly into the wall. It was Bogomat. Nearly into the wall, and then a couple of cars there. Still trying to dictate their pace. Rescue for the Shong somehow. I don't really know how. Audi on the inside as well, man, trying to make the overtake on Davidson. Oh, there is another car off. It's actually the 707 into the wall on the inside, but we keep the pace with Besseling now in 3rd place. They rise behind in 4th. It's very difficult to keep track of anything, I'll be honest, for once. Kennedy Senatore is on the lead of this race in Pro Class. I was saying overall class, but I can't say it since there is a silver car on the very top of the field. You know, X overtakes the BMW, and the 909 does the same on the McLaren, which also gets overtaken by Aleman in the 444 Honda. But it's not over yet with the McLaren absolutely demolishing the Honda on the outside, putting it on the grass and making it lose several positions, while the McLaren also goes oh, that's a big shunt. Not really sure what was the plan there for the... Oh, there is another contact there with, I think it was a Ferrari. It was definitely a Ferrari. But there's a disaster for a few cars. I think it was a Coltrignelli. Cotrignelli in the number 37, getting involved in the incident, unfortunately. No, apologies, it was not the 37, it was actually number 3 of Santa Maria. Meanwhile here is Bogomas following Alfano in 13th place. Side by side for the two cars. But McLaren will stay behind the Italian there, with Vella also behind Bogomas and his teammates in 14th. While Senatore and Nopek here also battling for the lead in Pro Class, but the Lamborghini 112 remains at the very top. Oh, there is some contact there for the Bentley. Oh, there is some huge contacts actually. Something happened there too. Oh, another contact there for the 48. So clearly there was some contact with the wall. For Nopek. Because you can see the front end is quite divided. Senatore goes alongside with number 20, which actually remains ahead for now, defending the way. Obviously they have to race as if it was any other class, and the Lamborghini remains behind the silver class BMW in 5th place. Meanwhile also here Murasaki tries the overtake on the 137 BMW in 10th place. 1.6 seconds behind Mikos in 9th place overall. And also Vella is still trying to make the overtake on Bogomas, but for now remains in 15th. There is now a little train between Vlasova and Eck. Oh, there is a contact there! And the BMW is sideways for a brief moment, and Senatore is now ahead in 5th place, with Nopek following and Eck in 7th place, with Mikos also making overtake on the number 20, which is now in 9th place, but remains 5th in class. Oh, there is a little contact there. I will search for this camera. So, obviously the pace for Murasaki is way better than the one for Conway, but number 137 is still ahead and will remain for now. As Mikos also here making the side by side with Eck in 7th place. Also Murasaki is now going from the outside on the BMW number 137, which now becomes an opponent for Garvey, but also Alfano goes alongside for a brief period of time to Garvey in the quarter panel to the rear. Oh, lounging to the inside, and that's, I think, the Ferrari ahead of Garvey. That's for 12th place overall. With the 2-1 still trying to make it from the outside, but nothing came out of it. You know, there's a huge incident behind. Oh, it was already a hell spin for the 707, which actually remained on the racetrack. Suspect some contact with the other car, which was the Ferrari number 789, probably? No, it wasn't. Stopping a 40 seconds penalty for Davidson after speeding in the pit lane. As Nopek here still follows. Senatore in 5th place. Again the walls. So I'm trying I'm suspecting that Nopek made the contact with the wall all by himself somewhere into the mountain, because he's getting way too close to the walls every single time. Also here Garvey is battling with Conway, and Eck is also making the overtake on Novak. For the moment there was a chance, but it didn't happen. Meanwhile here the Honda still remains behind the BMW, so now Conway is 2.5 seconds behind Murasaki, and also here Hill makes the overtake on the other McLaren, that's Bogomas, which now becomes an Audi for Hill, as Bedman is in 16th place, and I don't know what happened, but Dyer is not in the race anymore. Ascari makes the overtake for 11th place on Conway, but still all the cars NASCAR style following each other into the hairpin. Also Santori was trying the overtake in an impossible point, and by doing so loses not one but two positions maybe into the inside of the maze. No contact between the two drivers, but Eck takes the flag and takes the place on Senatore, which is now defending against Nichols in 8th place. The 909 Ferrari behind. But Nopek is back in the lead of the field, at least his own class. Still the Kanner in pole, and Curtin follows with Besseling just meters behind, and Reyes effectively being the ultimate shield for the duo in 2nd place. While Alfano is now getting ahead of the BMW, with Conway now in 14th place. As now Nopek is in close proximity to Rice in the number 97. But the Bentley is a powerhouse in the straights, and I think this applies even now. An overtake on the inside. Oh, there is a huge contact into the barrier, and they are both out of the race. And both cars massively destroyed, I think is the correct word. Well, Stress is limping off the incident. Have a look at this. Novak way too aggressive, or the Aston way too late on the brakes, and it put an end to both cars' race. Nobody at this point is just trying to, at the very least, complete the race. The car is undrivable, to say the least. So now Eck is in the very lead of the race. In Pro Class. And 4th overall, with Senatore following behind and Mikos in 6th. So at this point, I don't think it matters anymore how the damage go through for... Oh, there's like a triangle inside. It was very, very close to Vlasova, who is now on the grass, and also behind Murasaki. Also Vela and Alfano switch positions, but by doing so, there's also Hill on the outside, which then becomes the inside, and that's Hill getting the position down on Alfano. I think there was a switch between the two drivers for Gladius competition. I would like to see it again, because if it was a fumble, I think it was. Let me have a look at this. It was just an overtake, a very late launch too, from his own teammate. So now Ek is in direct proximity of the duo in the second and third. Ek is in the Mustang, which is literally the fastest car on the straight line available in the slipstream. I think that's a possible overtake, considering what we saw earlier on with Nopek and the race. Bit on the grass too for the Mustang, with the Ferrari trying the inside, but effectively not putting a real defense against Ek in the car number 51, which is now in third place. Senator is now just behind Bettelink. And will probably go for a lunge just now. But also, bear in mind that in 5 minutes everything will change. Meanwhile, Hell sparks here between Hill and Vela for 10th place. As you can see here, the 5 is not okay with remaining behind the Gladius competition car, whether it is the number 113 or the number 19, because now Hill is trying to make the overtake again against the Ferrari. As Senator goes alongside and then in front of Besselink, and the same goes for Mikos, who takes the position in a very opportunistic way. And that's 5th place for Mikos. Meanwhile, Ek here very close to curtain. So there is a side by side. There was a side by side for a brief moment between Alfano and Hill. Ooh, wait, there's a huge one. Guard is into the wall. Oh, he lost the rear into the gravel. Oh, he's not into the wall. He actually survived it. Oh no! Someone else nearly put it into the wall. That was Vela. Narrowly avoiding Garby in the middle of the racetrack, which is now in 14th place without damage. It went well. Ek is now into the inside, that's for 2nd place overall, and that's Curtin in 3rd now, so now Ek is just 7 seconds behind Karner into the lead of the race. It will be a nice fit for the number 51. As both race and oh, rain comes, and this is the moment I was waiting for, honestly. As Conway is the first one to jump the gun, a bit too early in my mind, into the pits. Senatore goes on the inside, and it's another position done for the Lamborghini. She's now in 3rd. Scotty is now in 4th. Oh, lots of rear traction for Curtin. question arises, obviously, when to pit. As he leads into the wall, or maybe just a spin. Either way, he is not in the same position as earlier on. He was in 10th. Or he just lost the rear and then went into the wall too. The race control, there is no contact, so clearly as Murasaki makes the overtake on Battling. Nobody from top end of the leaderboard jumped the gun, rightly so, I would say. Oh, little contact there between Alleman and Cutrignelli there in F37. Can have a better look at it from here. Oh, it was a triple 4 making overtake from the outside. And also a little contact there. That was a very nice one, too. That was a very nice one, too. Mikos still remains behind curtain. I think the crossover point is around 207. For now, the last lap was at 205 for some, with Icon making at 203. So we certainly are a bit far away from that point. Obviously, with the race stream and so many cars on track, it also gets the track gets wet a bit slower than without any car like in qualifying. But Curtin is definitely under huge difficulties with this weather, which has put Murasaki just behind the Mikos. Oh, the 777 is into the wall and then into the Ferrari and into the inside, with Murasaki leaving the position to the Ferrari driver, but that's some contact for the 777 too. Apologies. Apparently it hasn't been registered by race control. Odd. No, Karner doesn't pit. Eck does pit. Maybe a lap too early, maybe not. As Vella. Oh, there is. Was it beef? I don't know, because now Vellman is ahead of Alfano, but I want to see it again. Oh, that's a. If it was a dive bomb, that's certainly not a good one, because you can see there that Vella remained on top and Vellman also made the overtake on Alfano, which is now also into pit. So everybody between Eck and Garby went into the pits, leaving Cutrignelli in 7th now, Aleman in 5th, and Murasaki in 3rd. Drifting alongside Basslink, looking at the surface. Oh, that's a lot of pickup for Murasaki, which also goes extremely wide there. Looking on the condition on the surface, I think it's a bit too wet for the dry tires, so maybe. Okay, I take out the maybe. I really think it was a good decision for Eck and everybody behind to go into the pits. Oh, Murasaki again into the wall and again into the inside, but this time without contact with another car. But there's another contact with the wall, which is not helping Murasaki, which is now also behind battling. He has been losing a ton of time in this weather. As Cotinelli is behind both Bogamas and Aleman, so for the Italian this definitely wasn't a great idea. In terms of pit stop, everybody seems to be on the same page except Vlasova, who actually had the car stopped for 15 more seconds than the usual, and Hill with 20 seconds of damage. So there's a side by side between Bogamas and Aleman with huge damage on the front of the car too, with Cotinelli nearly losing the rear end of the race car too, but he remains ahead of the pink Honda. As we repeat for everybody there. 6 seconds have been lost in the last lap for everybody else. It was a 209.2 into the pits for Eck. It was a 214.6 for Curtin, so 5 seconds have been lost. And Eck will have an easy time there. Meanwhile, Vella and Velman, one alongside the other, into the grass for a very slight moment. Huge late move for the Italian, which went into the grass, cut the chicane slightly, and then lost the place on the Audi driver, which is now in front. Oh, there's a McLaren into the grass too. The Ferrari with a better exit, but that's Velman still on the inside of turn 1, which now puts Alfano back behind Vella and in close proximity. And in all of this, Garner is still ahead. He managed to stay ahead of Heck into the lead of the race. And this is still the same fight going on with number 29. Having to defend against not one but two Ferrari for Galdo's competition. Alfano is now looking at his own teammate and Velman up ahead. These three are in a fight of their own for 4th in class, but they are still 7th overall, leaving Garner after nearly half an hour still on the lead of the race. As in 30 minutes it will stop raining, so changeable conditions, and also very rapidly changing condition. Vella now tries the outside, obviously without too much grip, and quite honestly risking his own position against his own teammate. They are both risking way too much. It hasn't been the first time that they nearly put one of the two into the wall. Risking a well, there is a way to say it in Italian, a patatrack, into the various corners and turns of this racetrack. It's clear that they both want to be ahead of their own teammate. Number 19 for now is ahead, and Vella is both attacking and defending. Prunes the Alfano. Oh wait, there is a cut-off. It's a 137. It's Conway. Oh, he lost the rear on the curve. Yeah. Oh, huge one into the walls. Because now Hill is also very close to Bomas, 15th place, signaling his next move to on the right of the racetrack, so to give Hill a better way to make an overtake. Ooh, that was a huge loss of traction for Vella. And this just helps Alfano, although still a bit far away. As another Italian is trying their chances with Cotrignelli and Vlasova in 12th place. Keeping its line on the middle of the racetrack, dive into the inside, and that's a 37, just ahead of this number 20. Now 11 seconds behind Garbi in 11th, as Eck is now very close to the car ahead, and ironically the car behind is Nopek in the 48. A McLaren is in the wrong way. Oh, there is a contact there! I think, yeah, it was the Lamborghini of Senatore. Look at this. With McLaren absolutely sending it on the front of the Lambo driver. As Eck is trying to make the move, a little contact between Karner and Eck, which actually is giving Nopek the chance to make an unlap. As Eck is still not over with it, trying on the inside, leaving a lot of space. The 107 leaves an eternity of space on the inside, fairly so, but dangerously letting Eck approach. But yeah, unfortunately for Senatore, now the situation is a bit grim. Having lost the position on Mikos quite instantly. And Eck lets Nopek pass by. That's a bold strategy. Velman are still one after the other, with Vella on the outside, going a bit on the marbles, but still keeping control of his own car. That's a bit of loss of traction there for Vella. Oh, that's way off! And that's also, I think, no contact for the other two Ferraris, but that's Velman spinning in front of the number 19. We can have a better look at it. We just went on the curb, contact with the wall a tiny bit. As Eck switch position with Karner. Very slow Porsche there, straight. Wonder if it was a bit of a benevolent action or whether it was a poor exit for the Austrian driver in the 107. This puts Zach in the very lead of the race from 16th on the grid. Obviously, the entire mess that happened early on also helped. He also is ahead one position in 14th place. Looks like he's now very close to Alfano. 2. What's this? I went into the pits. Oh, there is some damage to the front of the car and the rear too. Very odd moment to make a pit stop. Huh? But okay. Oh, that's extremely... Oh, that's into the wall for Alfano too! Just now that the battle for 7th became a little bit easier. This is for Bella. Alfano nearly put the car on the wall. Well, actually, they put the car on the wall. Just survived more. Okay, he's literally cooking in those tires. I mean, he's not really stable on the rear. He's going a bit more sideways than the usual. Oh, there is a kind of... Oh, that's well done off into the wall completely. I was looking at the times they were setting. Oh, into the grass, into the wall once, then twice, nearly colliding with the car behind two and thrice. Though the fourth time very little contact, but that happened too. So now this Audi is clearly damaged. And 29 now into halt, and that's return to garage, and that's race over for Bellman completely now. Murasaki has an opening left to think about. That was extremely close for Murasaki. I want to see it again from another perspective. Last lap, Murasaki also gained an entire second on the car in front. Putting now the Japanese just behind Alfano. But have a look at this. Oh wait. not what I asked for. It's a bit too early. I put 1,000. Apologies. To go for this. So have a look. Just narrowly ahead of Garby. Oh, that's Murasaki into the wall! And restarting the car! But something happened there to Murasaki. So he was way late on the brakes. Oh, contact with the wall too. And it's Garby passing through. Curtin is now just behind Senatore, with huge damage to the front of the car. As now Curtin is in 4th place overall. And Mikos is just behind the car. Kind of very nervous on the racetrack for now. You see how loose he is in the rear. Scandal is still trying to defend again against Mikos for 2nd place. As Garby and Murasaki are still battling for 9th place there. The Honda ahead of an injured, effectively, Aston Martin. At the same time, Besselink and Vella battle for 6th place overall, which doesn't really change anything in terms of overall position, of class position, but puts Alfano back a bit in the battle for 7th place against his own teammate. And now Vella is just behind Besselink in the worst possible moment, 2nd sector. So it's 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's Besselink a bit off into the grass. But still ahead of Bella. Oh, Garby's. Oh, something happened there. Well, more than something. Oh, there was a wall involved for Garby. And then there was Cutrignelli spinning to a halt there too. And there was also the pass here for position. Between Alfano and Bella for 7th place. Oh, it was a loss of rear traction for Vella, which put his teammate back in front. For now, Besink remains ahead of the duo. Not only that, but he will stay ahead at the second sector, section 2. Beautiful wordplay there. Which will again put some difficulties for the Gladius competition lineup. A bit on the grass again, but this time I think there is a possible overtake between Besselink and Alfano, and as a matter of fact it happens just there, putting Alfano in 6th place overall, 5 seconds behind Senatore, badly injured, but Vella still remains behind Besselink. Vella will likely try the overtake with a dive bomb on inside, and it works perfectly. We now the number 19 in 7th place overall, 2. And the 15th class. Because still behind Karner. Karner is definitely defending well against the Ferrari in the 909 in 2nd place in Pro Class. The lap times are consistent and honestly on par with Act 2. Oh, that's a rear. As it will also stop raining in less than 10 minutes, which then will obviously sparkle the question on when to pit. Oh wait, the number 9. Oh wait, is right in the grass? So there was a contact with another car to just so just a car stopping on the track. Because just made the overtake, obviously the very moment I go for a replay. Oh, it was the 107 losing the rear. Also something else happened because now Curtin lost 2 positions. Oh, he was in the middle of the racetrack. Curtin lost both the positions, Senatore and Alfano. But maintained the one on Vella. Napoli. Okay, never mind. Aston Curtin is just in front of Bethlink for second position in class, as Hill is now overtaking Cutrinelli for 11th place overall. A bit of damage has been sustained in the upper part of the racetrack. 2 is on the battle for 2 places on the podium, continues there in silver class. As Murasaki is now just 5 seconds behind Vella. He's been gaining some time lap after lap, as he is now 5.3 seconds. He gained an entire second on the very last lap. Meanwhile, Cusinielli goes on to the pits to jump the gun, maybe, for the dry tires. Oh, that's Curtin into the gravel, and that's Besselink jumping in second place in class with number 8, which made a mistake while we were looking at the rear of the car. I think it just went extremely wide. Yeah, it lost the braking point, putting the car into the gravel and gifting the position to Besselink. And now Murasaki obviously wants to make the pass as early as possible. Oh, there again on the hairpin. 777, risking it all in that turn. No, it still rains, but I'm quite sure that the next stop is going to be the last one, whether it rains again in 40 minutes or not. Okay, it will be extremely fun if now in 30 minutes rains, but I don't think that will happen. The track is also quite hot, so it will clear in short time. That's why I think that from the moment it stops to rain, I think we will have to wait around 2 laps. Okay, 2 laps I think. 1 and 2 laps. I don't think 3 laps are necessary to make the jump. I think 1 lap will be a bit early, but 2 laps will be a bit late. So the best thing is to be like 1.5 laps into the strategy. So Masaki goes in 8th place overall, putting Garbi very close to Murasaki now. the Senatore is losing 1.5 seconds per lap after the damage. Which either Alfano makes the pass or not, it will happen one way or another, since the damage will be repaired quite surely, especially in dry conditions. Otherwise you can still survive, but in dry that's definitely impossible. As the car 2-1, Garbi is into the... Oh, that's a major one. So did he lose the car on... Oh, he just lost the car on himself. You can see him... Well, not from here, but... He's now behind us. Oh! Senatore... I think he tried to defend. I'm seeing a contact there. Yeah, it was Senatore trying to make a lunge on inside and putting Alfano in the grass. With Vella now in close proximity with his own teammate, flashing the lights, clearly putting, letting it clear that defending is useless now. And rightly so, I'll be honest. As Alfano goes into the inside, and that's the position done for both drivers. You now see both Alfano and Vella effectively going away into the distance. Meanwhile, Vella is still battling with his own teammate in the number 19. Now it stops the raining. Well, surely not in this lap, but I'm quite sure that the next one will be the one where we'll see some pit stops. Oh, little contact there, and that's Senatore with half spin. Brushing the wall on the inside. So I think Senatore will be effectively the first one to jump into the pit, whether it's a good idea or not, so simply to at least repair the car. So I can effectively go through, same goes for Nikos, Kanner does the same, Alfano does the same, quite likely. This does. Bella too. Senatore jumps into the pits, Basilink stays out, Rosaki does the same, then Curtin follows. So it will remain dry until the very end of the race. The 147 had a contact with the wall. Oh, it was another McLaren simply stopping in the middle of the racetrack. It was a 1-2-3. Why was that? Why was that a thing in the first place? So Davidson just stopped in the middle of the racetrack. Bit of a bold move there, I'll be honest. But this put the number 137 out of contention for position in silver class. Anyway, now, second time passing through, I think a trail line is starting to appear. And that will be also a fake into the pit lane. Oh, there is a car into the wall. I think it's the McLaren number. Yes, it is also in 19th place. But even for Mikos, nothing happens. Kana actually does the jump. And for the place, he goes into the pits. And Alfano does the same, so I suspect everybody behind will do 2. Bella 2 into the pits, Besselink. Murasaki stays out actually. Coursing into the pits. So effectively we just have Ek and Mikos in first and second, and Murasaki all the way in 7th, which remained out. And I think also Hill will remain out. Change of strategy for Garby, which also has a damaged car. So this will be quite interesting. The last lap for all these drivers was a 209. Crossover point is around the 207, 208. Oh, I'll be honest, maybe it's a bit early, but this track is long. And dries up quickly considering the temperatures, so it actually is a good idea to pit early. Because they still have the entirety of the track to go through. I'm quite sure that Vella actually made the overtake on Alfano. Yeah, looking at the last lap, there were 5 seconds of difference between the two. So yeah, Alfano lost the position in the pits. I think he just went wide. I can't see anything in the race control. 208.7. That's definitely into the crossover point. An important way to understand the situation is to go look at the drivers with the dry tires. Obviously nothing is still available. Looks is now greasy, so I think I actually went a bit too far. He's definitely losing because the 208 is already a crossover. It's a bit loose as a crossover time, but considering you have an entire lap to do, that's actually quite believable. It's an entire 210 for Murasaki, but I think paradoxically, it was rather for simply a demolition of the tires rather than a wet surface. Senatore's lap time as Cotinelli is also battling with Garby for position. As Cotinelli gains the position on Garby for 11th place. Senatore made a 206.2. So yeah, that's quite a big signal, like a gigantic sign that you have to put. In fact, like, just comes into the pit, but I think that was a bit late. I wonder if there's actually a chance for Mikos to take the lead of the race. Ascarp is still behind and shortly alongside the Italian driver, which remains on the inside. Brakes earlier, there is a little contact between the two. The Honda remains on the outside. But it remains like this. Oh, there's a contact there. Oh wait, Senatore was into the wall. Something happened to Senatore while I was talking. Bit too early, yes, that's a bit too early. Oh no, that's not too early. That was just in the very moment of it happening. And that's also the position lost on Hill. So Ek actually remained ahead. Mikos is just 3.6 seconds now behind, compared to 7 and something. Kanner is 12 seconds behind the lead. Vella follows with Alfano in 5th, better than Murasaki in 7th. But I think that for the final 25 minutes it's going to be quite, I would say, easy. I don't see any fight for the upcoming future. Although this might change very rapidly. Only 20 drivers still remain on the racetrack, compared to 27 we had at the very beginning. Well, more than 27. 29. Someone is gaining with his teammate though. As Olson is... Oh, that's a huge one into the wall. Which put the car in a very peculiar and dangerous position. As Olson in the 966 was just ahead of Nopek in Santa Maria, but I think now Nopek will jump ahead. Because now has a gap of 3.7 seconds. It was a 2:04.9 the last lap. Pretty much the same for few other drivers, like Bella, like Hill, like Senatore. And tiny bit more. Alfano Scarlett comes into the lap times. Although now the gap between Mikos and Ek is just 3 seconds, but it may have been because of car number 1, 2, 3 in 19th place with blue flags. But maybe Ek hasn't the correct pressures on. We may have actually a battle for the lead. So it was a 0.4.8 for Ek, it was a 0.4.4 for Nikos. 20, practically 11 laps to go. Maybe even less. Ah, okay, yes, it's 11 laps to go. 11 laps to go, 3 seconds is narrowly 4 times per lap. No, apologies, less. It's less than 3 times per lap. Tiny bit, let's say 3 times per lap. So, if he maintains the rhythm, we will see the battle for the lead in the very last laps. Alfano just set at 0.3.4, nearly a second quicker than what his teammate did. It's a gap between Vela and Alfano in just 2 seconds. The lap times are odd because Ek just put together a 0.4, practically 0.4.9. Mikos 4.4, Karner 4.3, Vela 4.1, Alfano 3.4, Murasaki 4.1 with Besseling setting at 5.0. So Ek is... maybe it was just this lap, very likely. Because now the gap is getting larger again, but it would be nice if this was actually Ek in difficulty, not because I want him to lose, but just so we can have a fight for the lead at the very end of the race, although I still think that it was a blue flag situation there for the Mustang driver. The attack is not optimum, which is completely normal and surely what happens in real life. So 3.0 for Ek, 0.3.2 for Miko, so he's clearly still hoping for it. But also the battle for fourth is getting less likely. The gap not only remaining 2 seconds, but actually getting larger. Senatore is back into the pits. Oh, there is some damage to the car, so something clearly happened there for Senatore. I wonder if I can be lucky to go for this. I think this happened in this very lap. Oh yes, so the car up to this point is still okay. And now, oh, it just lost the rear. Oh, that's a big one. So this is what happened in full length. Just a tiny bit on the grass. Less grip on the rear. Lost the rear completely. Into the wall 1 and 2 times. Effectively being obliged to go back into the pits, but that's putting him in no man's land. 15th place for Senatore, unfortunately. As both Fusilli and Garvey are lapping very quickly. 0.2.5 for the Italian, 0.2.7 for the Swedish driver. The battle for the lead is quite honestly done with a gap of 4 seconds now. So nearly the Mustang driver is gaining 4 times per lap. Now Alfano is extremely close to Vella. Something happened to Vella just now. Oh, that's why. There was a car into the wall. Put back the gap to 1.5 seconds. Oh, there's another. Oh, wait. That's the same McLaren again. So I want to see it again. You can see the McLaren simply putting Aston Martin into the wall. So I think a good lesson in racing awareness has to be given to Davidson there. The number 20. The number 123, apologies, which is now 7 laps behind the leader. Oh, there is a contact between the two as Coutinelli lost a place on Garbi, but was it for some damage? It's a very odd. Oh, the car is heavily damaged. I think something happened to Coutinelli because the car is not really in a good shape. To see if I can find it though. Let's see. Oh, he lost the rear. He definitely lost the rear. Oh, that's a big shunt into the wall. So that's why it was acting funny. The car, I mean, obviously. That's the reason for the car acting funny. It was a contact into the wall, which puts Coutinelli into the pits and likely behind Senatore. So 01.8, fastest lap of the race so far for Eck. Because set at 02.5 in the last lap, with Carner setting at 03.2. And as we go down the grid, few are even close to that benchmark. Actually, Hill is one of the closest. But Eck just set another quickest lap of the race so far, 01.5 for the Swedish driver, 02.1 for Mikos. Senatore officially jumps Coutinelli into the class leaderboard. Now Alfano in the latest. The last laps has been gaining and gaining on his own teammate wise. Nopper just set the quickest lap time of the race, 201.390 for number 48. Slightly better than 201.510 being set by Eck. Alfano just in this lap gained an enormous amount of time, 201.635 for Alfano and 202.392 for Vela. So there actually could be a battle for position between the two just in the last 10 minutes of the race. As now Murasaki is in close proximity of Bethlink. That's not for class position, but that's for overall position number 6. And quite honestly, I think Kanner will effectively end the race in 3rd place. There is a high chance that that could happen. A 01.065 for Eck, that's the new fastest lap of the race. Happened until now. I think now it's way calmer than it was an hour and a half ago, nearly. So stays behind. He knows that this is not for class position. Is not so quick. Top speed. No, Murasaki remains behind Bethlink. He has to make a move somewhere else. This won't happen here. It's a tiny bit dangerous to make a pass there. Now the 777 puts the indicator on into the right and leaves Murasaki up in 6th. So the next battle is Alfano in 5th place, just behind Vela in 4th. Alfano's last lap was 5 times quicker than Vella's one, so I think in the last 6 minutes we could see some swords fight going on. And the car getting lapped may help too. Possible chance there for Alfano, a bit too late and a bit too far. For now Alfano remains behind, it's clear that the battle could go on for the next 5 minutes, which is just 3 laps, not even, it's a bit less, but we also have to consider the Eck will cross the line in short of 40 seconds, so it actually is 2 laps to go. So it's the last 2.5 laps for these two, and there is a Mercedes there, which is Brown in position number 14. And this could actually leave some leverage to Alfano to make a pass in an impossible position. Maybe, just maybe the idea was there, but certainly not on your own teammate. He tries to go into the inside. There is possible contact between the two. No touch whatsoever. Alfano remains behind, Bella remains in front, but there was a clear chance for it to happen. As Nopek gains back the fastest lap of the race so far, it was a 2:00.870 for Nopek in 17th place. Slightly into the curve, working hard into the 150-meter bollard. It is approaching a bit of a difficult. Oh, there are a couple of cars involved in what seems to be a bit of a bottleneck. Not sure what happened there. Which car were involved? It was it was again. I can't believe it was again number 1, 2, 3. With Garby this time around, with the mechanic literally braking in the middle of the racetrack. It is on the final lap of the race. After 90 minutes, it could be a pass just now with Velas slightly lagging, I'll be honest. And Vlasova going into the pits. For some reasons, unfortunately, I'm not sure about those reasons, but there is a fight going on between teammates as the 1-1-3 lurks into the inside and nothing happens there. So a couple of chances remain for Alfano to make the pass. Both of them make third one in a perfect manner. So this is likely put the battle on stall for Alpha Lap, unless something happens. At the same time, I don't think anything will happen too, although Murasaki is 15 seconds behind, so any possible damage or slight miscalculation has some buffer zone. Anyway, here comes Benjamin Eck in number 51, Ford Mustang, without the fastest lap of the race, but he will end from 16th on the grid in the top of the positions here in Mount Panorama at Bathurst, with Mikos following just behind in second place, and then in third place overall we've got Khan, but here comes the possible overtake for position between teammates as Alfano actually remains behind, and nothing changes there, so Kanner will end the race not only winning in his own class, but also in the podium in overall class. Good for Kanner. Meanwhile here there is a duo still battling until the very end of the race, but Vella remains ahead of Alfano, with Murasaki 15 seconds behind in 6th place. In the 777 car. Also Besselink will end in the podium position number 2, with Curtin just behind him in the number 8 in 8th place. Then David Hill completes the race in 9th place. And Garby 26 seconds behind, and effectively the last car on track do the same in the final spot of the top 10. Yeah, mate. P1 in silver and P3 overall. Nice one. So, this was tonight's race at Bathurst. A very interesting one, I'll be honest, with the entirety of the Pro class having to battle through the silver class because of mayhem in rain, then incidents, contacts, battles, and saves for the entirety of the race. It was a nice one to watch and to commentate on. I'll be back on December the 5th for Kalami, and also for the 9 hour of Kalami later in the weekend. But anyway, I'm Chris Romano. This was the round number 4 of the Master season, and I'll see